And when it's done, we on to the next thing. We don't even take a minute to be like, damn, girl, you fucked that up. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast, where we center the stories of Black women as we heal from the painful relationships with our mothers. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Arnice. Welcome back. Welcome back. Maybe y'all should be telling me welcome back because, yes, I know there was no episode last week. I was overwhelmed with tasks, okay? Overwhelmed with my day job, with my mom job, with my home job, with doing things in Black Mother Wound, and I just couldn't do it. I can't even say anything. And I'm not even going to say, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry there wasn't an episode, but I needed some time. And I had company come from out of town. It was a lot. And I even shed a little tear this morning because I was like, I feel like from now until the end of the year, I've got to really manage myself so I don't get overwhelmed. So I've got to be more conservative with how I extend myself to people, to tasks, even how I extend myself to the demands I put on myself. I've got to really watch that because a bitch could crash out. And when she crash out, she gonna be under the covers watching Murder, She Wrote, marathons, and eating butter pecan ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we don't want that because we've been doing so good. So I am back this week. I'm happy to be here. Let's hop right on in, okay? Announcements and housekeeping. First of all, thank you again for everyone who has left a review on Apple or Spotify. Please keep it up. Please, after this episode is over, we are on our way to 1,000 reviews, not just the stars, but written reviews on Apple and Spotify. Like I said in the last episode, we have about 3,000 people who listen to an episode every week. So 1,000 really isn't a lot. And I might put that number up. So please, if you have enjoyed this podcast, go leave a written review on Spotify or Apple. And most of my analytics, I do use Apple. So if you could go to Apple, that would be great. If you're watching on YouTube, just pop one over there and leave a review, please. Especially y'all in the comments on YouTube, because y'all, we be live on YouTube. So take some of that love over to one of the audio platforms. Love ya. Also, Resolve on Demand is still available. I've been getting messages about how much people are enjoying it. I'll have a link in the show notes or the podcast description. Learning how to build authority and autonomy for yourself, going back and getting what you didn't get in your childhood so you can have the life you want is what it's all about. And Resolve on Demand is the best thing that I have seen that can really help us do that, coming from where we came from. So resolvehealingintensive.com. The link will be below or in the show notes. Okay? Love it, love it, love it. So this is what I want to talk about today, because this is some things I'm going through. And y'all know if I'm going through it, y'all are probably going through it as well. And it is me telling you and me telling myself that you have a right to change your mind. You can change your fucking mind. When I was in elementary school, y'all know I grew up in the South, Pentecostal. My mother had me in a private Christian school that was run out of the church that we went to in Fayetteville. And I remember playing with this little girl. I may have been in the second or third grade, and this was like, gym time or whatever. But anyway, I'm not going to get into the specifics of the school because it was country. And a little girl, we had rules, and we were playing, and it's like she didn't want to play anymore, something like that. And I was upset. And I went and told the teacher. And the teacher told me She was a white woman. Now, mind you, I also was the only little black girl in this school. So I don't know if she was trying to be shady to me or not. 'Cause she didn't say this applied to me, but it was something that always stuck with me. And I'm like, I was 7 or 8 years old when she said this. She said, every woman has a right to change their mind. And I thought, wow, what a fucking concept. Like, what does that mean? Which is telling even back then, because I didn't have an understanding of like changing my mind. I didn't even know I had my own mind, that I had some authority over, that I could change. And here this grown woman was saying this. Every woman has a right to change their mind, meaning the little girl can do whatever the fuck she wants to do and you can't do anything about it. Okay? And that has always stuck with me, because not only was it a challenge growing up with a very dominant mother, right? It was her way or the highway, which I think a lot of us went through, but also growing up with Southern Christian ideology, where you couldn't change your mind. Like, this was the way you were supposed to behave. This is the way your life is supposed to go. These are the things you're supposed to do. And anything outside of that, your ass is going to hell. So there wasn't an authority. There wasn't a sense of, I can change my mind. I can think about something differently. I can do something differently. And this led us into making choices that were not good for us, that we believe we just had to eat and live with, because it meant that we were doing the right thing, that we were being a good person. But we did not feel like we had any ownership of our lives when it came to things like, I'm going to change my mind. Whether it's about something small and I'm going to wear my hair differently, or it's something big and I'm going to change my mind about where I live. I'm going to move from North Carolina to Wyoming or wherever it is. But that autonomy of changing our minds that we were robbed of at a foundational level really left us on shaky ground, because it led us to believe that something outside of us was responsible for our own happiness. And we had to spend our time trying to find whatever that outside thing is, whatever those outside people were, and get their buy-in and find out what they think we should do. Right? So today we're going to break that down and move past that. Us, you and me together. Not just you, me too, because I am making some changes in Black Mother Wound and how I want to show up and how I want to express myself as a person with this work, based off of how I have grown, right? There are sides of me that you all see, but it's mainly from I feel like, big sister, teacher, guide perspective. And that has made me really center you all in how I show up. And that's taken something away from me as an individual. And I want to center myself in how I grow up. And like, I deserve to be able to let my little girl show her creative side, her artistic side, letting my older version, my adult versions, show who she is, show her more sensual side, her softer side, the more complexities that I have in me, right? And still use that to build this community. And I feel like I'm rambling, but it has been very hard, because I feel like I've been kind of stuck in a box over the last few years with how I show up here, right? And I know there've been some changes where I've I feel like I never thought I was in a shell, but I have been, in a way, and coming out of that. And I know some of you all have recognized that, and y'all encourage me and y'all cheerlead me, but I need some more cheerleading, because there's some more blossoming to do. And it can be scary when you make changes where people are used to seeing you a certain way. Okay? That's just a little piece of what's going on in my world. And it's probably going on in some of y'all's worlds too. So let's jump into why you don't change your mind, why you don't do something differently, right? And the first thing I have is like, we believe that we will make a mistake and that mistake will be so bad that we can't recover from it. And that comes from like this all or nothing learning that we got as children, where, if you make a mistake, you can be completely rejected, you can be abandoned, and you can be shamed. And there's no going back. And of course, to think about, Christianity, how it is taught, okay, the dogmatic bullshit, I must say, around this hard line, like, oh, you going to hell if you make a mistake, you're going to hell. So we are taught like we can't even make a mistake, right? So everything has to be right all the time. Okay, this is a big one right here. The little girl in you is irresponsible. When I talk about the word irresponsible, it's not to throw shade. It is to truly understand what irresponsible means. It means unable to respond. That's all irresponsible means. It doesn't mean you're lazy, you ain't worth 2 cents, you don't know anything. It just means you are not able to respond. And some things we're not able to respond to, and some things we are. But when we're making changes and we're doing different things in our lives, we are always working through the belief systems of our wounded inner little girl. And she is not able to respond. She doesn't know how to protect herself. She doesn't know how to recover. She doesn't know how to keep herself safe if things don't go well. The devil she does know is much safer than the devil that she doesn't know. And so when we don't feel like we are able to respond to our own behaviors and choices, we also then lack trust in ourselves. And when we lack trust in ourselves, it's impossible to make the changes to impact the life in the ways that we really want. And when that happens, there's no authority, right? Y'all know, like, healing your mother wound is about having authority and autonomy. And when you're not able to respond, that means you have no autonomy. You have no authority, and you're looking for others to be able to hold the weight of your life and your decisions for you. And we get mad when we give that power to someone else and then they mishandle it. When the whole time it's only ours to hold. It's not anybody else's to hold, because the vision was given to us. It wasn't given to somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? And lastly, another reason why we don't make the changes in our lives that we want, because we don't have any confidence. Many of us were not raised with a mother who encouraged us, who saw the most in us, and who built a environment where we could learn independence, right? Where we could make a mistake, fall, she would still be there encouraging us, telling us where we got it wrong and how to get it better next time. This is a really big one in parenting. This is a side note, but as far as how I have helped my son become a confident young man and have really good critical thinking skills, is I always let him try new things without putting fear on him that he couldn't do it. I knew he couldn't do it, but I was there. So as he would fall, I would be able to pick him up, encourage him, and let him know, oh, the more you do this, the better you will get, right? And I also think about, like, if you think about a 1-year-old falling, right, as they learn to walk, that's a very short fall. It's small to the ground, Little babies and little kids fall all the time. They fall right on their butts. They get right up, they keep going. Falling as an adult is hard as fuck. It's a much longer fall. There's a lot of time between you standing up and your ass hitting the ground. There's a lot of pain there. But if you teach them how to fall, it's like learning how to skate. Even though I can't skate, this is what they say. First thing in skating is they teach you how to fall. That helps you have confidence so you can take chances. We didn't grow up with that. So we're having to go back and give that to ourselves now. Okay. And the price that you pay for not making these changes is the life that you don't want, which creates bitterness, which leaves you in underdeveloped relationships, underdeveloped jobs, underdeveloped environments, not living the life you want. And that should be enough to spur you into making different choices. But again, because we feel like the devil that we do know is safer than the devil that we don't know, oftentimes we stay in things too long. Okay. Because we're afraid and we don't know what's going to happen and we don't trust ourselves. That just goes back to the things I was just saying before. And what I want to do is help you understand how you can use reparenting, the principles of reparenting, to learn how to consistently make changes in your life that you need to make, whether they're big ones or small ones, right? And I'm going to start off with this part. You cannot be concerned about what other people think about what you're going to be doing and how you make these changes. I know it's very easy to say. I'm choking on the words myself because I care. But you're going to have to get past that part. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And you cannot depend on other people understanding or agreeing with you in order for you to make the change. Okay. So I'm just going to just kind of put that there, like with a little asterisk as we keep moving forward in this. So now that you know that, right? Now say, okay, Jennifer, I know why I'm not making the changes. What do I need to do so I can make these behavioral changes, thought changes, life changes, right? First, you need to get really clear about what it is you want, what your end goal is. And there's a difference between being honest about what you want and what you think you can have. I'm going to say that again. There's a difference between you knowing what you want and you believing what you can have. Because oftentimes the thing that we go after is what we think we can have. It's not what we really want. So we've already shaved off the sides and watered down what the real dream is, what the real goal is, to say, well, this is what I probably can have. Not understanding that's all based off of your own wounding. It's not even really the full magnitude of what's available to you. It's just based off of how you see yourself, your own value, your own worthiness, all those things, right? So you got to get past that to have a real honest conversation with yourself on what is it that I really want. Okay. And that means you have to know what isn't working and stop gaslighting yourself, trying to tell yourself you should be happy with what you have. It's better than what other people have. It's good enough. All of those things. Stop gaslighting yourself. Stop thinking you just need to be more understanding or you need to be more patient. You need to be a better person. You need to pray for them. You need to be whatever the fuck that you are saying. You are gaslighting yourself. I don't even care what it is. Don't send it to me and be like, well, this is why. No, you're gaslighting yourself. So you have to come out of that and be like, no, this isn't working. How do you know it's not working? Because the shit hurts. It hurts. It doesn't feel good. It's exhausting and overwhelming to participate. That's all you need to know. And that is good enough. Okay. You also have to be in a space where you've been doing work, where you're creating a safe space for yourself, because this is going to give you a level of upheaval internally, right? So this is where we're talking about when we talk about reparenting. I don't know if you have the free course. I'm going to put the link in the show notes, the free course that talks about reparenting and building autonomy. And we go through these things, okay? So here we're talking about nervous system regulation. You have to create a safe space for your inner little girl because she's scared. She's scared as fuck. And it's not good enough for you to be like, be scared, just go through it, be tough. No, you have to be sympathetic with her. Be like, yeah, this shit is scary. How do you console her? How do you keep her safe? What is the pace she has to go up? What is her safe word? What does she really want? How can you soothe her at the end of the day when she has stretched herself? How do you bring her back home? Right? So that's a part of reparenting. You have to make a safe space for her. And so these are some things how you create a safe space, right? One, of course, we talk about working with your inner little girl. Start small. Start with small changes. Don't start with you moving cross country if this is something you're new to, okay? Start with changing your lipstick. Start with wearing a different color. Start whatever small is to you, because for some people that changing your lip color is not small, okay? Because other people see that. Pick something in your house that only impacts you and make your change there. Make it where you're the only person that can benefit from it and you're the only person that can veto it. That's how small you get to start. Now, if you are more experienced in this, then go bigger. But some of y'all are making big changes in your life, but you still aren't creating a safe space. You're beating yourself up all along the way, and I don't want you to do that. So I only want you to make changes within the realm of how safe you can make yourself feel. Okay. Also, I think I already talked about be honest about what's not working. And what does success look like when you make these changes? And now I don't want you to be realistic in the thing you want to change, but I want you to be realistic in what success looks like. Because success could feel like I slept really well last night after I did that. That could be success. It may not be manifested externally where you and everybody else can see it. Okay. You might not have knots in your stomach. Like, oh, wow, that's a success. It might be, you know what? I have not chewed on the inside of my lip or my hand all day since I made that change. It's like, oh, wow. Then you also get to see how everything is really tied together, how you feel during the day and how you are living in a state of dysregulation versus how you start to feel regulated, right? So what does success look like for you? Okay. Because it might be a new job. You might not get that job, but it doesn't mean it was wrong, but you feel a surge of energy. You're like, wow, that was really great that I, went on that interview or applied for a job that I wouldn't apply for. And now I'm okay. I'm kind of over the hump. Okay. So I think that's really important. And also, once you know what success feels like, I want you to have a reward for yourself. I want you to know how to applaud yourself, to celebrate yourself, to clap and cheer for yourself, because that works for your inner little girl. Just think about a little kid who's learning to do something new. All they want is somebody to clap for them, to see them, to encourage them, because that is going to help you keep moving forward. You have to do the same thing for yourself, because a lot of times we accomplish great things. We make beautiful strides in our lives. When it's done, we on to the next thing. We don't even take a minute to be like, damn, girl, you fucked that up. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to take you out to eat tonight. I'm going to get you a pedicure. We're going to Uber in. Okay. Whatever it is, something with that, it's like, that was really great. Okay. You have to have this is how you create safety, so you don't turn into someone who doesn't want to do anything in life, because it's like, what's the point? What's the point of doing that? And your life just becomes this one layer, one color, and it doesn't matter. I don't want you to live like that, because that puts us in survival mode. So when I explain all of these things, you are actually incorporating all of the principles of reparenting. Number one is discipline. You have to train your inner little girl up in the way she should go, from an emotionally healthy standpoint, and training her up to make changes and to know what's working and what's not working. That requires a level of discipline, and you need that. Okay. You also are implementing self-care. That's another piece of reparenting, because you are prioritizing what's important to you when it comes to making these choices and these changes. What is important to me? Not my mother, not my family, not my husband, friends, or the people on the internet, but what's important to me, right? Then you also have emotional regulation, another tenet of reparenting, where you're creating a safe environment for you to thrive so you can move forward. Because many of us are often stuck in a dysregulated nervous system, and making choices from there are survival choices, not abundance centered choices. Joy is another part of reparenting. Celebrating yourself when you make these changes, when you see success, when you see that things are working out the way that you have decided you want them to work out, right? Seeing yourself and implementing that joy is so important. And lastly, having community. Like I said earlier in the episode, it's not about other people agreeing with you and saying, yes, I'm giving you permission to do this, but it is about having safe people in your life who you can share this journey with, who know you, even if they don't understand specifically what you're doing. They trust you, they believe in you, and they're willing to support you in your choices. That's the difference. That's what makes community so important, right? That's pretty much it. I want you all to really make a list of things that you want to change. And I don't want it to be rooted in things that have been hard for you to change in the past. I want you to pick something new, and I want you to pick it something that's true to you, not based off of what society is saying. Something that you feel like, oh yeah, ask your inner little girl, what do you want us to change? What's a decision you want us to make that could light us up, right? That's what I want you to go from. I don't want it to be based in your head. I want it to be based in your heart. Now, I would like to see that. I would like y'all to comment and let me know what that looks like for you, and how you can use this, all the things I talked about, to move forward with that. Okay. I love you all dearly. I hope to be back next week. I really do. I think we're in good shape. But if you don't see me next week, it's because a bitch was overwhelmed and she done resorted to ice cream for breakfast. Yeah, but I think that we got that all together. So, yes. Thank you all for the support. Thank you for leaving the comments at Apple and Spotify. Please continue to leave them so we can get to 1,000 before the end of the year. Please check out Resolve on Demand. The link is in the show notes. I love you all dearly. I will see you soon. Don't let anybody play in your fucking face, and don't you play in your own face. I'll see you later. Bye.